Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm talking to you all around money because money is really important in a business. We talk around the importance of having cash flow, and we talk around the importance of our ideal client being able to afford our offers. Now, there's a bit of a money myth out there, which is that why I can't afford it is just an excuse. And the real reason you're not closing sales is because of certain things. And I'm going to talk to you about these certain things today. Because when people say, I don't have the money, it's often never about the money. It's all about you. And most things in business, most problems are around you again. So that's the hard truth. So I'm going to talk to you around some of the reasons and how to fix it in terms of the problem isn't the price. Now, I'm going to begin with a bold statement. If you think the reason you're losing clients or prospects or deals or offers or whatever, it's not about the money. It's about you. So have you ever pitched your heart out only to feel like it's crickets and you're not breaking through the noise and no one's listening, no one's watching? A bit like when I went live on Saturday, I deliberately went live and spoke around the fact that you have to show up even when it feels like no one's listening. Or worse, like it's just a outright no when you present someone an offer. Then the reality is what I'm sharing with you here is that you're not alone. Everybody has experienced that. There is not one salesperson that has got to be what we would deem successful who has not encountered, on average, more no's and yeses. But the truth is that the real reason that you don't close these deals is often really simple and it's fixable. So that's great for us to know. Kind of sets a tone for the whole conversation today. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 9 reasons why you don't get those offers come to fruition and why you essentially don't get that sale. And I want to give you actionable strategies so that that no turns into a resounding yes. So number 1 is that there is a fear around the fact that people are going to say no. And that fear stops you from trying. So you don't even try. And this is really, really important to get hold of. So I want you to really dive into your mindset blocks right now. Like write them down, get pen and paper really close because there's so much science behind the fact that when we see things pen and paper, we can change the way to see things as well. And we interpret it and understand it is different. So write these mindset blocks down on how they are impacting you. So I want you to really think around where this is then holding you back, because often people are not acting on what they need to do. They're not doing the work. And inaction is the biggest killer of all. So when we have a fear of failure, often it puts people back from even starting giving it a go. They just move it back to the next day. And I see this all the time, especially with where I talk strongly about my messaging with fitness, is that people put that off because they don't want to go to the gym because they'll feel they'll be judged by somebody else. So they just leave it to the next day because that's easier to do. And they think, oh, I'll go for a walk, or oh, I'll go at a time when it's not as busy. And then they just peter off that idea and they just never get there. So when we focus on small, consistent actions, rather than waiting for it to be perfect and just get it done, then we're more likely to get close to where we want to be. So for instance, somebody that's wanting to lose weight, like they have to get to the gym. That's going to be a really hard part for them. So when I started out many years ago, I'd never been to a gym. At the age of 27, I'd never trained in a gym, never even really walked into one. So I was very aware of the judgment, and I'm very aware to share the story with you now of how that can feel because I've been there. And I literally used to go on a treadmill for an hour and I would just walk. And I used to feel that was epic. And I never used to look around me. I just used to stare at my phone and listen to my songs on my iPhone. So I was very, very aware of people thinking they're judging me. I'm too fat. I would wear a huge oversized hoodie, and I made sure I had all the newest gear, and I was just so worried still. I didn't ever even go to the weight section because I was so worried about how do you even pick up a weight and what do you do. Everything just kind of 10 times is in your head, doesn't it? And it's like that acceleration mode goes and you just think, oh, I just can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. And then you kind of go all introverted, you can feel it in your body and everything gets too much. So then it's easier to go and do the comfortable things, which is go back to eating more because that makes you feel good, or not going for that walk, or just going home or doing more work because actually that's comfortable to you, and we like comfortable and familiar, even if that's not going to help us move forward. So, what I'm drilling down to right here is that often people don't get any of the yeses because they're not even trying there. They're allowing their fears to come into play too much. So, you need to reframe these fears and see this as the fuel to push you forward. So, get really, really close to them and understand what they are. We've got a limiting belief in either yourself, your offer, or your pricing. So self-doubt shows up in sales conversations and it will show up in an energetic way. I'd never say this in a woo way, but you know there's a difference between somebody's tone in sales where they're going to be saying, look, amazing, I know exactly what you need right now. Like this is bread and butter to me. I do this all day long with my clients. The offer is £6,000. Let's do it. There's a real difference with that confidence to somebody going, well, yeah, look, this could help you. What we do is we usually get you booked onto an onboarding call next week. So we'll finish this call. I'll send the link and you can pay. I'll then send some details about how you get on the call. We'll do that, which is amazing. If you need me, just that will all be an email, so you'll get everything in there. And let's get your call booked in. Actually, the link will be on email as well, so you can do all of that there. What's going on? Like instantly, can you see the difference between the two? Someone that's really structured, focused, this is what's happening, confident, compared to somebody who's got it a bit of a mess. It's just going to take them to email, which is the worst place to take anybody because they're never ever going to reply. And when people say that they've taken to email and they say, oh, I haven't heard back from them, and I say, well, they didn't reply to your email, did they? And they'll often say, like 9 times out of 10, be like, no, people don't. It's not to say that people aren't in emails because they are, and email marketing works really well if you use it well. But this is not there to be used just because you've got a mindset block that's holding you back or a lack of belief about your offer. Show confidence that you have the solution to your ideal client's biggest problem right now. It's so important. So make sure you share and talk about the fact that you understand where they're at and that it is a big investment for them to make. I get that, but you also want to change your life and be in a different place, right? So the only way you're going to get that confidence is by having an offer that you absolutely 100% believe can get that solution for somebody's big problem. That is why we have to be really clear on who we're helping, what are their problems, and what's the solution for them. So it's all step by step. So be really clear, be really certain, focus on a transformation that your offer gives somebody because that confidence is contagious. Often people will involve a decision maker. So you will have been on calls where somebody comes in and says, I just need to talk to my partner about that. So you want to get that as upfront as quick as possible as you can. So you want to understand who the decision maker is in their sales process because they will be already thinking around that and they're ready to throw that objection at you. And therefore you need to be ready to confidently come back and overcome the objection. So I want to share, I've done a lot of sales training myself to get me really confident in sales. I used to be that person that said, I hate sales. I love it because I do sales training and I do it all the time. And often I have Wednesday morning, I have a 2 hour slot for sales training because I don't think as a business owner, you can ever get far away from it. So even if you take one action from this today, I want you to get a part of your diary where you schedule sales time for training, not calls, not lead generation, where you do training on getting better at sales yourself, because I still do that and I'm in year 3. So I'm aware that in the qualification process I have before somebody's even on a call, I've understood, is there somebody that's going to be making a decision with you? So I can already overcome that. And I often overcome that in things like content or before I'm even on a call. So the call is about, let's make it happen, let's go for it. So I close and I make more money. So before you pitch, make sure you're asking the right questions. Make sure you're doing the qualification work you need to. So this is all about the prep of sales. So if you haven't got that in place right now, my advice to you is get really clear on what are the questions that you want to ask somebody before they come onto a call. So the call is always about getting to the point of them being really clear whether you're the right person or not, and they have all the information so they can make an informed decision. And it is about yes or no at times, but we want to be angling things so we're getting to a point where it's a no-brainer to say yes. So a step by step is you've got to be really clear the right questions to ask before you're even on that call with them. Another point is that lots of people do too much cold DMing. It's you feel it. Again, it's that energetics that comes through, and it stops them from achieving that sale. And again, you can see why this isn't around the money, that they're just like they're wanting to get to date five in two questions or two responses back and forth with somebody in a direct message, a DM. And it's sticky, it's messy, it's uncomfortable, and it doesn't do you any favors, and it doesn't feel good for you or for them. So just be really clear again of who you're reaching out to and who you're not. Because when you're reaching out to people and you're very much about get on a call right now, or hi, thanks for connecting with me. This is how you book a call with me. Like, it's just not how we would do things with a stranger. Yet we come online and we do all of that. Even if you're at a networking event, you wouldn't go up to somebody and say, "Oh, hi, I've just met you." As, "Oh, well, yeah, if you want to find out anything more, book on a call with me. This is how you book on a call." You'd say, "Okay, amazing. Look, let's connect." And then you would go back after that networking event and say, "It was amazing to meet you. I've just had a look through your content. So good what you shared about X, Y, and Z. Really resonated with me, or will really resonate with my clients, or how's that going for you right now?" Like, take things step by step. You don't go from meeting somebody on that date one to getting married, having kids within 3 weeks. And if you do, amazing. I don't know anybody who has done that. So let's stop the cold DM pitching. Build rapport first, build that relationship. Business is about relationships, and be authentically you in the right way. Authenticity always wins over a copy and pitch paste. Poor qualification, I've kind of touched on a little bit when we're speaking around the decision maker. But this is really clear. You've got to have a sales process. That's what I'm getting to. You've got to have real clarity on where people come in a customer journey in your sales process. So you've got to qualify people at the right point. You've got to understand if they're a right lead or not, because otherwise, if you don't, this is going to waste your time and your energy later on. And you want to be really clear on a set criteria of your ideal client. So poor for qualification, ask yourself, do I understand my ideal client, all of their wants and their problems, all of their problems rather, and then all of their desires, and listen when you're on sales calls and use their language. So a client who is a client was particularly hooked on when I shared a point around messaging is messy that I put out in my content. So it spoke to her. Now, the irony is that it was a previous client who said that as well. So I know that the language was it was going to attract more of my ideal client. That's why I used it in the content to get more clients. So use what works for your clients. Ask them, be curious, use their language, and it will really help you. Don't go pink and fluffy and stuff that's not what somebody would say. Like, nobody really talks about like, I just want an abundant mindset. They don't say that. They just say, I want to earn more money and I want to have a mindset that doesn't hold me back. So I don't put off making sales and going for it, and I don't feel rejected when someone says no. Like, get closer to what they actually say. Which leads me to bad process. When you've not got a clear process, a clear funnel in your business, or a clear customer journey mapped out, you're disorganized. And that disorganization will lead you to be pushy in sales, and that kills deals. So the constant follow-ups without the value, somebody messaged me the other day and it was awful. They were following up and they said, coming back round. Look, there's obviously is going to be certain little things that trigger all of us in certain ways with language. That's why language is so powerful. But let's not go for the cliche stuff, right? It's boring. Really be authentic with this. And this is why you do sales training still, because you naturally get better. Sales is about being really natural, building relationships, asking the right questions at the right time, being I never say pushy. It's wrong to be pushy in sales. It's wrong to be convincing somebody, but we do have to persuade people. There's a difference between persuasion and convincing somebody. So we have to persuade people by giving them the right information for them to make the right decision about what's right for them. And they take responsibility for the actions too. So a opposite of a bad process is a good process, will be one that's mapped out really clearly, and you have the steps to know where you take people. So everything you should be doing is around building trust and adding genuine value. And value is subjective. Value is only value if they take what you share and get a result from that. They move forward, they take it, and it helps them to clarify something. Which brings me on to clarity. When you lack clarity in your content, your messaging will be confusing. And if you're confused, they're confused. Your audience will instantly become interested and they'll be off somewhere else. And there are plenty of people to can help them on what you can help them on. So you have to stand out and be different. So share examples that are really clear. Simplify your message, make it about the results you deliver, not just about the features. Moving on to the price. It's the final point I'm going to make here. It is not about the price. Everything I've shared here today is nothing to do with the price. That is a myth of why people don't buy. You need to highlight the value. You need to build relationships. You need to create an insanely incredible experience for that person where they go away like, I can be with Starbucks and my coffee. I love the service I get in there. That's why I go back. So think around those amazing experiences that you've had. What's made them magical? What's made them different? How can you create that in your business right now? How can you take an offer and make it an irresistible no-brainer for somebody to buy and invest their hard-earned money in? So they see you as the solution and the only person that can help them get to their goal and closer to where they want to be in their life. Because people are always buying. People are investing right now. They either don't know about you, your offer's not clear enough, or it's actually at points not good enough yet because it's not irresistible. And then you're not got the sales training behind you to convert somebody who is interested into a paying client. So this can easily, when we recap this, show you the process from mindset to process. We need to be really clear to qualification. And these are the things that are holding you back. The amazing news here, these are all fixable. So I want you to take this away today is that the deals that you're not closing, they are not about the money. They are because you lack the clarity, the confidence, and a connection. And all of those things, clarity, connection, and confidence, are important that you are sharing in your messaging. When you master these, you'll master the art of making more money in your business. So I would love you to share this podcast with people that you know who need it. I would love you to connect with me as well. I'm making it super complicated here by giving you too many calls to action. So I'm going to leave you this main one. I'm running a challenge to help you build your audience with the right message. It's called Grow the Right Audience with the Right Message. And it is running on January 20th to January 22nd. So if you're listening to this right now, it's next week. If you're listening to that after, then you missed it. But you can still come back in my world. And we are focusing you on less, not more. So you get, again, super laser focus and tangible, actionable strategies. That's what I help my clients on. You've got all the information in your head. You've got all the information at your fingertips on ChatGPT and everywhere in the world. That's not your problem. The problem is getting it done and having you to be seen, the personal authority and the person that somebody can trust who can get them the result. And that's what we need to get across. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next episode.